Does your hallway always feel cluttered no matter how much you tidy it? Well, the problem might not be how much storage you have, but how you're using your space. Hey home stars, welcome back. Welcome. I'm Valerie. Thank you so much for being here. If this is your first time here, I hope it won't be your last. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and together let's make comfy, cozy, and complete homes by doing simple and affordable DIY projects. In this session, we are talking about vertical storage, especially as it relates to our hallway. Mind you, it's transferable to other parts of our home, but we're looking specifically at hallways because we want to stop the clutter at the door so that the rest of the house can remain clutter-free. Right? And when we talk about vertical storage, it's not just tall cabinets, but it is one of the easiest ways to completely transform how a hallway looks and feels, especially a smaller hallway. Vertical storage is any storage solution that uses the wall space. They can go from floor to ceiling, and they keep things off the ground and organized. Hooks, yeah, on your wall, that's vertical storage. Shelves, yeah, it's on the wall, it's also vertical storage. We can have wall-mounted organizers such as cubbies, even a small key holder. If that storage solution is on the wall and it is freeing up floor space, it counts as vertical solution. And as I mentioned, that is key for especially smaller hallways. Vertical storage solutions have many benefits, and that is why we should not only consider them, but we should try to implement them in our hallways, because there are lots of vertical solution storage ideas that are very doable as DIY. And maybe we tend to think that DIY means that we have to do everything, like make the thing. No, not necessarily. You can buy the thing and then you DIY, putting it together and putting it on the wall. That is an aspect of DIY. DIY doesn't mean that you do every single thing, right? Yeah, but let's get back to the benefits of vertical storage solutions, because we are going to do a DIY project that's not only going to be functional, but also decorative. And yeah, let's go ahead and look at some of the benefits of vertical storage solutions. And the first one that jumps out at me, how about you? Let me know. Clutter reduction, or getting rid of clutter completely. Because when we take things off the floor and we get them all organized, it immediately opens up the hallway, makes it feel cleaner, and yes, make it feel more spacious and welcoming. Whether you have a very small hallway or you have a very big hallway, vertical storage does help you to maximize your space. And that is especially critical for a small hallway, because when you use vertical storage, it means that you are going up and not out. And so you free up space on the floor, and because you do that, you don't extend storage into traffic pathway, which creates better flow in your hallway. Therefore, you won't be bumping into furniture, stepping over shoes, tripping over boots, and everything else that may end up on the floor. Everything will have a place, and your movement in your hallway will be effortless, and you will reduce your stress level. Because if you've ever been in and around a hallway that is congested, that is cluttered, you know how much stress that can produce, right? Now, another benefit of having your vertical storage is that you have a place for everything, so you can keep everything in its place. Now, remember, we still have to sometimes declutter our vertical storage, right? Because if we don't do that, then our storage can still get overrun. So if doing some work once a week, I would say, especially if you're coming in with a lot of junk mail and flyers and all that stuff, those stuff can really clutter up your space. So you want to edit and get rid of extra stuff at least once per week. And when you're adding vertical storage on your wall, it is a prime opportunity to add some style, because storage does not have to be only function, but it can be aesthetically pleasing. So you can show your personality in your choices of storage on your wall. Whatever design you choose, whether it is country, farmhouse, minimalist, rustic, modern, transitional, whatever it is, there is always some type of storage solution that you can get. If not, you can do some DIY like we are going to be doing right now. So let's jump into it. So instead of just talking about these ideas, we are going to make one that we can actually use. I have an arrow here, nautical arrow, that I picked up at the thrift store a while back now for only $2. And then I have some pegs here that I am reusing. I have my trusty weathered wood finish here, some paint, glue, cord, and I have this scrubber thingy here that I am going to use just to rough up the surface of the wood. Now I am going to use the weathered wood finish. However, I am not going to be painting this first. I'm just going to put it straight onto the wood, because what I want to happen is for the wood itself to come through the crackle. So we'll just take a couple minutes and scrub this. So I'm using this pretty much like you would use a sandpaper, just to get some of the shine off. So our medium and our paint will be able to stick to the wood. Now, you don't have to have an arrowhead to try something like this. You can use any shape. And an arrow, nautical arrowhead like this, doesn't mean that it has to be in a coastal home. Can be in a transitional style, a lake house, a farmhouse. As a matter of fact, if you want to put it in a modern home, you could, because there's nothing wrong with adding a bit of contrast or tension in your design or decor. Okay, so these little pegs were used before, and so they do have a little paint on them. I'm just going to use them just like they are. They need a lot of sanding, right? They don't need a lot of that at all because they are not very glossy. I put the nail on so that I can handle them when I'm putting the weathered wood medium on. So we're just going to take a piece of tissue and just wipe this to get the dust off. And I'm going to rest this here. And yeah, I should mention that when I bought this, there were holes here, here, and here. So there were 3 holes, and I drilled 1 here, which is good spacing, because the one thing we don't want to do is put our pegs too close together. Just gonna go ahead. Okay, so the thicker you put on the medium is the bigger your cracks will be. I just want decent sized cracks. They don't have to be big. As a matter of fact, I prefer them to be more subtle. Home stars, if you have made it to this point, thank you so much for sticking with me. I am going to conclude this session for now, and then tomorrow, Saturday, we are going to pick this up again at 11 a.m. and finish it off. You are going to like the final product, I promise you. It's all about inspiration, and it's also about falling down and getting up, because yeah, I fell during the process of doing this DIY, but I got up back and I think we finished strong. So see you then when we continue to do simple DIY and affordable DIY projects to make our homes comfy, cozy, and complete. Can't wait to connect with you again tomorrow. Mwah.